Welcome to the Indie Beacon Show, where readers can discover great new indie authors. Find us on all major podcast systems, Amazon TV, and YouTube. Join B. Alan Bourgeois for today's show. Hi, this is your host, B. Alan Bourgeois. Welcome to a special edition of the Indie Beacon Show. We're at the beginning of 2021, and we are introducing our hosts and hostesses for the show. Today, we are introducing you to Rox Burkey. Welcome, Rox.
Oh, thank you, Alan. I appreciate being here.
Well, we are thrilled to have you back. This, I think, is your third year as being a hostess.
You know, I stopped counting after year number one because I was having so much fun. I hate to count things that are fun.
Well, we appreciate you coming back. So let's start with the basics so the readers can learn a little bit about you. You are a multi-award-winning author of techno thrillers. So what is that about, and what are some of the books?
Thank you, Alan. So you're right. We are award-winning authors, and I'm a co-author. My co-author's name is Charles Brakefield. The books that we write are, they're based on our professional careers. So they have a layer of technology, world travel, a little humor, but each book has a point of vulnerability with technology. So, like the very first book, The Enigma Factor, really focuses on identity theft. And the most current release right now that's out and available is book number 11 in the series, and it's called The Enigma Beyond. And it's where you have technology that goes a little bit awry and maybe has a little bit too much freedom and threatens our human capability of making a choice. So are we being herded by machines, or are we willingly making choices? So that's kind of where we are right now in the series. They are each able to be read independently. So you can get a good, satisfying read. The characters evolve over the time. And so, you will get it a little richer, but it's a fun book. And we have a wonderful supercomputer called Ichabod.
Now, when you started this, you did not really plan, if I remember correctly, to have so many books done. So I'm sure you've got a lot more now planned ahead. How many books do you see in this series?
It's hard to say, and it's a great question. Technology is so, fluid. It was at one point in time something that, will run out of a foundational problem, but, they keep making technology even stranger, and so it makes more books. I don't know that we have a number on it. What we did between book 11 and book 12 that's actually being released in January of 2021 is on pre-order now, The Enigma Threat. We actually go to a next generation in this because I got tired of the older generation. I wanted to go to the new, fresh generation, so kind of push that along. It's fun. Okay. So I don't have a number for you. I guess when we're done.
And you're trying to keep this pretty much as open as you can, showing both sides of the story, not specifically preaching AI is bad or AI is good. You're just trying to give both sides of the story.
Exactly right. I think that technology, I live with technology. It's my job. I think technology is very valuable. I think it helps people. I think that we have to be a little bit smart about how we use it. And so we do a little bit of situational with each story that says, if you don't put passwords on things, then you're much more likely to be hacked, as it were. So, you've been hacked before, so you understand how that needs to be something that you avoid at all costs. I go back to a great story when we were at one of the festivals. We had all this stuff up, and a girl came by to look at the books, and she was being silly, and she was like 17 years old. She had a brand new i10 and left it on the table when she left. And I didn't notice it for about 5 minutes. So she was vanished in the crowd. I picked that i10 up, which at that point in time, the retail on it was like $1,100, right? And there was no password. I could open it. I could get her credit card. I could see exactly. It was amazing to me that she could be that naive. about her technology, especially for such an expensive item. So, of course, when she finally came back to get it 45 minutes later, I admonished her and made her put a password on it while I watched. So,
All right. You've been in the publishing world now for a few years, needless to say, with 11 books, quite a good chunk of time. And really, that sounds worse than it is. It's actually been about 5 or 6 years. So, with that experience, what do you hope to bring to being a hostess for the Indie Beacon show?
oh, that's the best question yet. So I love being a hostess for Indie Beacon because I get to hear a lot of other authors and how they're approaching their books, because I do have some experience, helping them kind of work on their social media. Don't forget to have a social media presence. Those kinds of things that I can help maybe guide them a little bit on. But I think authors are fascinating. It's hard to jump into this business and be an automatic success. It's not likely to happen for most of us. I mean, every once in a while you'll find somebody that'll fall down that rabbit hole and be terrific, but I like helping authors gain confidence. And one thing about being a hostess on this show is I actually talk to the folks before we have the show to try and make them a little looser. I've had people that have been terrified. You get them on video, you get them on asking questions, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm terrified. It's very easy. So I try and make friends first so that people that are listening can learn about the author, learn about their path to how they get their writing completed, and also to find out, what they feel they need help with. Because sometimes, they need somebody to take a look at it, or there's a mountain of things that people can learn, which is, that's always good to know. It's how you build relationships.
So that brings a good question. What have you learned being a hostess?
I have learned that I need to be much more specific when I'm talking about the stories. So doing that elevator pitch about my books, I over the years, I think I've improved that a lot. I think that I can, convey that you do have to read it, you do have to get it edited, you do need to be proud of what you put forth. And I think to that point, Alan, we're starting to go through the books again and run second editions, not just to change the cover, but because we've learned better writing. And people do that. I would rather write it though and put it out there than have a book sitting on my PC for 25 years and not trying. So, I think I help people go that way as well. I kind of nurture a lot of authors because I like them.
Great. Well, I want to thank you for being with us, and we look forward to an exciting 2021. It definitely will be better than 2020. So thank you again for being a hostess, and we look forward to seeing you next year.
Alan, thank you so much for supporting this. You are awesome.
Thanks. Thank you for watching the Indie Beacon shows, produced by B. Allen Bourgeois for the Authors Marketing Guild, LLC, copyright 2021. Voiceover by Randy James and B. Allen Bourgeois. If you would like to be a sponsor of this show, please reach out to us at info@authorsmarketingguild.com. If you'd like to be on the show, please complete the form at radio.authorsmarketingguild.com. Music is Always Rejoice by Rampart of Ukraine.